Let me know if this is you. You're a young person, you're ambitious, and you grew up playing video games. If that's you, then you probably experienced the same cycle that I'm about to explain. So, number one, you play video games for an hour a day, then you start playing more each day, and then you realize you're spending too much time on the video games, and then you uninstall, you fix your brain for a while, and then you re-download, and the process starts again. If you're thinking to yourself, wow, that's so relatable and accurate, well, that's because that's exactly what happens to me all the time. So anyway, today I'm going to be discussing whether or not you should play video games in your late teens and early 20s. First, I'm going to weigh up the pros and cons, starting with the obvious negatives. Number one, it's a waste of fucking time. You don't gain anything. Simple as. And then after you waste the time, you feel bad about wasting the time, and it's just another cycle like that. So you also sometimes stay up late, which impacts the most important part of your health, your sleep. And you kind of trick yourself into feeling like you're actually making progress because you're so wrapped up in the game's environment that you think your rank actually matters. And most people I know, including me, have spent a decent chunk on in-game purchases and items and what have you. So, on to the positives. Aside from the wishy-washy bullshit like improving your memory and your problem solving, there's two main concrete benefits that I could think of. If you have any friends, well then hopefully you play with them. If you have any friends, well then hopefully you play video games with them. Because if you don't get many opportunities to socialize during the week, it can be a good way to, sit down and have a chat with some people. Some people underestimate how necessary social interaction is to operate as a human being. And then the second point is that it can provide a sort of escape from daily life and a way to relieve stress. Now, I'm going to give my personal opinion on how much video games I think a person should play. Give your opinion, tell me whether you agree or disagree, and you might end up even helping someone in the comments who reads yours. So first person I'm going to describe is if you're just chilling and you're okay being an average earner and an average worker, then you're just living your life. Nothing wrong with that. I think video games, absolutely no problem. Play as much as you want until it's a problem. But play video games, bro. It's all good. The second person I'm going to describe is the person who has already landed themselves in a good job. So let's say like you're in your late 20s now and you've got yourself a good job and you kind of satiated your need for growth and you don't need to expand and grow further by that much. You're kind of happy with where you are. Then what's wrong with playing video games on the weekend or once every couple of evenings? I think it's no problem at all. Now, the second two last situations I'm going to describe are both people who have not achieved where they want to go in life. So either they're really far off where they want to be, or they're just almost there but they're not quite where they want to be in their life, in which my opinion for those two situations are kind of different. So if you are slightly ambitious, for example, you have a realistic goal, a goal that it's not like 0.001%, but it's like 1%, if you're ambitious to that degree, I think playing video games like once a week, let's say, for example, you want to be a doctor. Not that I know what it's like to study medicine, but let's say you want to be a doctor. I don't see why on a Sunday playing for an hour and a half or 2 hours is a bad way to, relax, unwind, and, speak to some friends. And then the last person I'm describing is if you are extremely ambitious, if you want to be the next Elon Musk, you're an entrepreneur, you're working on a startup, it takes like, 50, 60 hours of your week, however many, then it is time to uninstall all of your video games for good because of what I'm about to explain. And now I'm going to talk about a concept in relation to dopamine, all bro science, by the way. So this is just my way of explaining things, but it makes complete sense to me. Let me know if it does for you. It's called MEL, minimum entertainment level, right? So this is whereby in reaction to a stimulus being anything you perceive with any sort of, sense, you set a new MEL. So let's say by going for a walk, you set a new MEL of 5 out of 10. So your minimum entertainment value or level is 5 out of 10. Now I'm going to explain what that is in a second. Hold on. So if you scroll on TikTok all morning, you are setting your MEL, your minimum entertainment level, to a 9 out of 10. And if after you scroll TikTok all morning, you try to go for a walk, you're not going to be happy with your walk because your mind is going to be racing. You won't be as content with the entertainment that the walk provides because you're jumping down such a big level. And you've set your MEL too high by using TikTok. But if you read a book all morning, you set your MEL down at 2 out of 10, and then you go for a walk, you're looking around like, wow, these colors are so amazing, the air is so fresh, and you're just having a great time because the entertainment value of the previous activity that you've done all morning is way lower than the activity that you're currently doing, even though it's only going for a walk. I mentioned this because playing video games is not only going to affect you in the ways that we discussed in the pros and cons, but it's also going to set your MEL at a higher level, which is therefore going to make work less enjoyable. So for those people who want to be, extremely successful, I don't recommend it because, you need to do as much work as possible. And so by making it less enjoyable, you're just making it way more difficult and creating a lot more friction. I hope that made sense. Subscribe.